It was close to 70 earlier. Looking outside live in Manhattan from the Midland Exterior Skycam Network. This is on top of the Stormont Vale Manhattan campus, and we're looking to the west-northwest as that's where the strongest storm is at right now. Now we have a couple storm chasers on all this. Atria Neihart just passed by Leonardville a few minutes ago, and he is out ahead of the storm that's moving through Clay County. He'll be in northern Riley County shortly. So that's where he is. And then we also have Jeffrey Winger. These are both really great storm chasers and good people, but and local as well. So not storm chasers from some other place that don't know these roads. There's Jeffrey's video. Jeffrey's near the Wakefield area, and he's driving through some very heavy rain trying to get a position on this thing. But what it looks like on the radar here is this is probably going to be more of a wind event from what we see here. There are some spots of rotation, but this is not a classic rotating supercell. It's kind of more of a line, and it looks like it's starting to become more of a wind event. Now, to check out the velocity here, you will see some spin. So right here, just southwest of Leonardville, there's rotation here. The issue is whether or not that rotation is ahead of or behind the cold front. So if the surface temperatures are dropping off because the surface winds are coming from the north and all that, then it's not going to have enough energy to produce a tornado. It can spin, it can look scary, it certainly could produce a tornado, but at this point, that's a question is whether or not it's got enough warmth with it to do so. So that's just straight north of Milford Lake, heading toward areas like Randolph and Riley be in the path of this. Down south, there are confirmed tornadoes near Tulsa, Oklahoma. For us, we have a tornado watch going until 10 o'clock. The risk of seeing severe weather goes until at least midnight, maybe even a little after that. But so far, no tornadoes or tornado warnings to the north in this activity around us. So by 8 p.m., Supercast has this line of storms around Seneca, Manhattan, Abilene, and as we get later, 9 or 10, now we're in areas like Topeka, Oskaloosa, Council Grove, and we're almost certainly going to have some severe storm warnings along this. The question is whether or not we wind up with tornado warnings or not. And of course, if we have tornado warnings, we'll go continuous on WIBW TV and talk about this for hours on end if we need to. It doesn't look like it's that kind of situation. As a matter of fact, now that the sun is set, the risk of seeing the higher end stuff is, I'm not saying it's gone away, but now that the temperatures start to cool and that the sun's gone down, the risk of seeing the higher end really wild storms certainly diminishes pretty greatly. Let's go back and check out the radar again. So what we have here, again, the temperature is dropping off pretty dramatically. Concordia, just 38 degrees right now, and there's Manhattan, and this is going to be the video. Looks like Jeffries is frozen for a moment. Now he's back in the heavy rain. He's going to be driving the heavy rain for a while. This is the video there from Trey, who is just ahead of it. You can see the lowering there, and that's where that spin was showing. I was showing you a moment ago on the velocity mode on the radar. So if you were looking at this, if you're close to Leonardville or Randolph in that area, if you're looking at this cloud and it's lowering and it is spinning, so don't think it's not spinning. This storm is definitely spinning, and Trey is in the perfect spot here to see this if it were to touch down. And storm spotters like Trey being in a spot like this, or how the National Weather Service can know many times whether or not they should issue a tornado warning or not. So it's just as important to let you know, hey, this thing is not scraping the ground. It's just important to let you know that so that you don't become complacent later. If we tell you, oh my gosh, it's rotating, take shelter, and it's not touching down, we don't want to scare you for next time, because if we say take shelter, we want to have credibility, and chasers like Trey and Jeffrey being out there really to help us to make sure that we can communicate to you, is it a danger? Or is it just raining really hard with a spinny cloud above? So there's a big difference in that. All right, so there's the spin part of this, though, just straight west of Riley right now. And spin does not always mean tornado. Most of the time, spin doesn't mean tornado. It can just mean it's a strong storm. But this right here, that is spin. The red parts of this are moving away from the radar. Red is out. Green is toward the radar. The green's right there. So right along the Clay and Riley County lines, that's where we do have that spin that's in place, is moving to the east-northeast toward Riley and Randolph. And again, these are not, this is not a tornado situation, but something to watch. Yeah, I saw him just a moment ago. He's in the right spot for that. I'll back up and we'll check out Trey's video again. Looks like he's actually turning, getting into a better position. But Trey is very close to that storm. And the rotation of that was showing up right along the Riley and Clay County line. So that's where Trey is right now, looking at the really the most interesting part of the storm. And then we have Jeffrey Winger, who is heading across the southern part of that, just east of Wakefield this time, and just trying to get out ahead of the heavier rain in this. So that's how it looks right there on the radar near Leonardville, the downpours just west of Riley. That's where that rotation is showing up. Wakefield, that's close to where Jeffrey Winger is at right now, as a heavy part of that rain is moving across the north end of Milford Lake. Now, as I zoom out a little bit here, you'll see this starting to fill in a bit down the line, just past Salina, off into south central Kansas. See what towns that's getting closer to. So now we're down to the Marquette area, and so the cold front is starting to take more shape there. To the north, there are more severe storm warnings in parts of Iowa and Nebraska. We have not had any severe storm warnings in northeast Kansas just yet. We certainly will, it looks like, over the next couple of hours. This is beginning to develop a little bit more there in Riley County. And again, the velocity mode there, the indication of that spin doesn't mean necessarily lean forward for tornado threat, but when it starts to rotate like that, it just means it's becoming a bit more intense. Mitchell, what are you seeing?
Just seeing the same thing that you're seeing right now. You want me to hop up on the wall?
Well, you can just see if you had anything new that I hadn't seen at this
point.
point.
Not really.
You don't have to run yet. I'm just checking in to see if you had something going on.
Yeah, I'm not seeing much more than you're seeing right now. I'm seeing that notch where that rotation is we're seeing on the base velocity. And I know that's a little bit from the inflow jet that comes behind it as well. But besides that, not really seeing much more than you're seeing.
You're not leaning forward thinking, oh my gosh, people are in danger though right now?
No,
right? Yeah, okay.
No, not at all.
I'm just confirming you felt the same way about it.
That's a pretty broad area of rotation from what the signature shows.
And that's it right there. And, that's not... There are days that we'd see a rotation like that and not even have time to talk about it. But on a day like this, when nothing else is severe at this point, if we have time to point that one out, that means that we're not in a whole lot of danger at this point. And oh my, got to go back to HRU here. He's gotten into some wild rain. Come on, there we go. There's Trey's video. Oh man, I jumped right past it. Twice. I was so excited to get to it. I jumped right past it. That's near Randolph. That's where Trey is located right now, and he is out storm chasing for us right now. And man, so we have confirmation of heavy rain. Obviously, we won't break into people's favorite programming for that, but that's what it looks like in the heaviest of this storm. And it's really amazing to me how much the temperature drops off behind this, where folks in Concordia are already in the 30s. You can hear the rain there from Trey's camera on board. So he's near Randolph right now. And then Jeffrey is going to be close to Wakefield, is where he's located. Let's check out his feed and see if his is still running. Yeah, he's sitting still for a moment. Pretty amazing there in the top part of the screen. A little blue sky right there.
It's kind of spinning right now. It's completely rain wrapped.
Go back to Trey's video. Trey's back out of the heavier rain. Looks like he's outrun the storm at this moment. So it's not easy to stay ahead of these sometimes. When the roads go east-west and north-south, and the storms a lot of times don't follow the roads, obviously. So again, Trey is right there, very close to Leonardville. I think he's in Leonardville, or just east of there. And then Jeffrey was east of Wakefield is where he was at. So again, this is not a tornado warning. It's not even a severe thunderstorm warning at this time. So we don't have any warnings in northeast Kansas. There are some floods going on that are minor at this point, but nobody has any sort of extreme warnings going on. To the north, we do have a couple of severe storm warnings. There's one in Nebraska there for 2-inch diameter hail, has the considerable tag on it. And then over here in Iowa, there's one with quarter-size hail in Montgomery County, Iowa. And then down in Oklahoma, they have confirmed tornadoes near Tulsa. And this one, if I loop it, I'll go back, and I think I have 2 hours of data on here. And that tornadic cell has gone right over Tulsa. And I don't know about damage. I just know that it did touch down there at some point. And I can check the reports here and see if we got a line of confirmed tornadoes in that area or not. I don't even see tornado icons there, but I know it touched down that area. And right now, what you got there around Tulsa is that color coding I have on here is for confirmed tornado. So that's what that is, the confirmed tornado there near Tulsa, just northeast of Tulsa, that is. It says observed, so that's usually the storm chasers have seen it. Let me see if I got the text on this. So they've got it at 643, confirmed tornado, 3 miles southwest of Collinsville, moving northeast at 35. Tornado and hail. And they say Sky Took, I think. Ugala. I actually freelanced and worked for Fox 23 to them for a while. And when I was live on air there, the producers had to get my ear and yell the names of these towns. I messed up all of them. Owasso, Ulaga, I don't know. Skytook, I believe. That was one I remember messing up. But I'm really terrible at the names down there. Fortunately, I've been here long enough in northeast Kansas, I get most of our town names right. But again, we're kind of surrounded by severe weather, and here in northeast Kansas, so far nothing. We have this strong storm that's moving through Riley County and almost to the Marysville area, and it's got that shape it's got the shape of an outflow or a bow echo, but it's kind of discontinuous, kind of an unmotivated bow echo. Like, it's got the right shape.
It's like a college student who doesn't want to do his homework.
Is it still that? I was in college a long time before you were. It's still that way when you were in college?
Yeah, I'm only a year out of college.
All right. Well, 45 years ago, when Yoda and I were in college together, we were unmotivated at times as well.
Unmotivated, I am.
Yeah. I was plenty motivated when there was something fun to do, and not motivated when there was calculus. All right, so there's the storm near Riley. And I'm still watching Jeffrey and Trey's videos on their live feeds as well. And we have several other storm chasers that we work with. And tonight's it's not a real wild night, so we're not going to bring everybody on. And really last year was just a slow year for tornadoes. We only had 2 confirmed tornadoes in all of northeast Kansas last year. And I really think that Doug Crisp found one near Eskridge. It doesn't count because there was no damage confirmed, but I really think there were 3 tornadoes, and of those 3, the worst damage we had was KDOT had to scoop about 3 trees off of K4, and the other tornado, did it go right through St. Mary's? Oh, Bellevue. We had a tornado go right through Bellevue last year. And it was so weak, I didn't hear of even branches down. The only reason we know it happened is because a storm chaser had video of it. But just really, really a, fortunately, slow tornado year last year. So we didn't use storm chasers at all. There just wasn't anything going on. What do you got?
I was just asking if you wanted me to hop on.
Yeah, go right ahead. Tell them to put it on Max 2. Go for it.
Oh, can I use Max 1?
Yeah, use Max 1. Go ahead.
All right, so I'm just going to give you a little bit of a rundown now. We have this line of storms forming. It isn't quite as much of a squall line as the models that we've been showing have shown yet, but it does have a few areas of notching, as you can see. Just broad rotation overall in areas around Leonardville and Riley, just north of Milford and Milford Lake. So that is something we are watching out for, but it's not severe right now, and it's not to that place where it's warned at all. It just has a broad area of rotation. And as we zoom on out, we are seeing some severe weather around other areas of the plains, southern plains in Oklahoma. As you can see down near Tulsa, you have these storms that were producing tornado warnings down there, and also some severe thunderstorm warnings up to the north. We have this tornado watch really from central Kansas up towards Iowa throughout northwest Missouri. And then we have this tornado watch as well down towards the southern part of the state of Kansas in areas like Chanute, going all the way near Joplin in Missouri and into central Missouri as well. And we have those extending all the way down throughout the eastern side of Oklahoma. That's because they mostly have a dry line threat right now with the tornadoes that they may be having. And so as we take a look at our preset model probabilities, we will see this line of storms come through as we go throughout this evening, really 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 o'clock. And so this cold front will move through. Right now, it's not impressive from our radar imagery. We may start to see a couple thunderstorms start to bubble up along that boundary line as we go throughout this evening. So that's something you need to keep an eye out for. If you're go to bed early, you definitely will want to make sure you have those alerts on your phone in case we get severe thunderstorm watches or warnings, and in case we get those tornado watches extended and tornado warnings issued. But right now, overall, we are looking clear as far as that goes. We're looking pretty much clear across most of the area besides that one Boeing area along the Marysville-Manhattan line. And so that's just something you need to keep an eye out for as we progress and see our days change going into Saturday. Overall, our forecast for tonight, we will be around 35 degrees after that cold front moves through, with south winds 20 to 35 miles per hour. So even if you aren't getting storms, you will have those winds. So if you have your trash can out for any reason, you probably want to just pull it in until the morning, because that thing will go flying down the street. And our severe storms will really last until around midnight, so that's something you want to watch out for. But as we go into tomorrow, 54 for your high, northwest winds 10 to 20 miles per hour, cooler than it was today, and we will see decreasing clouds, and overall around the area in the 50s, and we will be around 53 in Topeka, 55 in Emporia, 55 in Manhattan, and 53 out in Concordia. Just giving you another look at the beginning of what our radar will look like, or our radar does look like. It currently is showing that we do have some storms brewing along the really around Clay Center, right just past Clay Center, along Highway 24, really getting near around Riley, and really not seeing much impressive with this right now, but we are seeing this broad area of rotation. I will give it back to you now, Jeremy.
All right, yeah, we're still watching those storm chasers. We've got Jeff Winger is going through Randolph right now. Oh, he just escaped the rain. He was in just an absolute downpour a moment ago as he went through town in Randolph. So fortunately, he's kind of escaped that. And then Trey is just out ahead of the line, so he's not in the extreme rain at this point. You can see the lowering there that's making its way across the middle of Riley County. So if you're in Manhattan, this is going to stay north of you, but they're in the north central and north part of Manhattan, or in Riley County, moving into the northwest part of Pottawatomie County shortly. That's really the worst part of this. And, so let's check out the velocity on this again. So there's your spin to this, just east of Leonardville. Heading toward areas like Oldsburg and Westmoreland. So, when I say, rotation to Westmoreland, I don't want to scare anybody. This thing is not leaning forward to produce a tornado right now. It's really, really not. But it does have some spin, and that's the strongest thing we have going. And if I kind of circle that, I'll just kind of show you where the rotation is on this. I see it so many times, I think it's obvious, but that doesn't mean that it really is to folks just because my eye sees it. So kind of circle that red and that green there together that pass kind of just to the south of Leonardville, between Riley and Leonardville. That's the rotation on this. So if we were to see a tornado, it would be that. And again, this is not, nobody's leaning forward thinking that's what this is. It's almost more like a practice evening for us, I'd say so far. Just getting in touch with the storm chasers, looking at where the worst of this is. And frankly, I am super thankful when Mother Nature gives us a couple of practice runs at this before we get nailed with something really big. It looked a couple of days ago like we could be dealing with a big tornado around here. And I am more thankful probably than anybody that that's not the case. Again, I really appreciate when we get events that usually I start practicing with storms that are in down in Texas and Louisiana, those areas. And then they start coming up here later in the year, and April, May, June. So we get to kind of try some things out with those southern storms. So today, again, this so far has not been a wild event. There's still a lot of jet stream energy out there, and if we start to get something that's severe, damaging, it's almost surely going to be wind later on in the evening. Amazing to me so far is that this is really not filled in that much. The computer models really were showing this would be a solid line of stuff by this point. And it is just absolutely not. Now, that doesn't mean that it's dead or to take our eye off of it. Many times when we get the sun go down, we deal with a low-level jet, which can intensify stuff. And as a matter of fact, in this part of the nation, low-level jet's pretty common to actually make things get worse. And that low-level jet is actually a feature that's kind of winds at 3,000 to 8,000 feet up in the atmosphere. After the sun goes down, they start to kick in and strengthen and can aggravate things even more. So that's something we'll be watching for, is if the low-level jet starts kicking in over the next couple of hours. Sometimes that can make things more exciting. Check out what the greatest jet stream energy is, if it's already here or if it's, it's still kind of building in. And it looks to me like the jet streak is coming through a bit farther west than was anticipated with this too. So we're not kind of the right exit region, the right entrance region is what we're concerned about a lot of times. I guess areas in Oklahoma got just enough right entrance region, probably more moisture and warmth to get things kind of wild down there. But up here, just so far, thankfully, it hasn't been that bad. This is interesting. We got a severe thunderstorm warning in Nebraska. Looks like sleet with a severe thunderstorm warning. I got to read the text on this. Let's see what this thing says.
That's wild.
They've got temperatures in the 30s there. All right, so we got a severe thunderstorm warning there in Seward, Lancaster, Butler, Saline counties in Nebraska. 6:40 p.m. 2-inch diameter hail. Okay, so 2-inch diameter hail reported in the town of Bruning, Nebraska. So let's clear that. Zoom out here a little bit and kind of remember where we're at there. I'll go back to the other map. I'm going to check out the temperature. I'll see if that same area is as cold as I think it is, but I'm pretty sure they're in the 30s there right now. Yeah. So they're in the 30s with hail up at 2 inches diameter falling. I don't think I've ever heard of that before. That is really wicked. And the idea of having temperatures in the 30s and 2-inch diameter hail falling, usually when 2-inch diameter hail is falling, it melts pretty fast. If you have temperatures in the 30s and hail that big falling, it's going to stick around for a while. You're going to have, what looks like just like somebody's dumped ice trays in the yard, and that's going to be there for a minute. So just out of curiosity here, I'm going to see if they have any Nebraska 511 cameras up there. Because I highly doubt there's any storm chasers that went to where it's in the 30s for temperatures. I mean, storm chasers go after all kinds of stuff that surprises me, but all right, so there I've got I-80. I'm kind of getting out ahead of it here to see if I can find something before it goes across I-80. That is fantastic. I've never seen that before. All right, let's see what the temperatures are showing up there. Yeah, they're like 30, 35 degrees. I have never seen something like that before. I mean, truly, temperature in the low 30s and hail bigger than golf balls falling. That's what they've got going on right there. That is unbelievable. All right. So if you're traveling that direction tonight, good luck with that. But again, around here, what we've got so far is this storm. The strongest one we have is this thing almost to Olsburg at this point. Sorry, I'm just fascinated by this report of hail that big with a temperature that low. That is just something I don't think I've seen. I mean, I'm sure it's happened before, but wow, that's rare. All right. All right, so now we're going to go and look at the live video in Manhattan. This is from the Midland Exterior Sky Cam Network. Now we're going to look off to the west toward Bill Snyder Family Stadium. And you can see the lightning there to the northwest of town. So I'm turning the camera over that direction. And our chief engineer, Mike Turner, went on top of that building yesterday. I think it was yesterday, the day before. Went on top of the building, ran some new cable to make this thing run smoother. And if there's one thing that'll make me like you, it's doing actual physical labor to go make one of the cameras work. I mean, anybody that's had the either pleasure or displeasure, either one it will be, of working with me, they all know that I'm going to be griping or bragging about weather cameras. I love them, and when I see somebody on the roof actually running cable to help me with it, that's about as happy as I'm going to get.
Jeremy would send me up there if he legally could.
Yeah. If I knew how to climb a tower and fix the stuff, I'd do it myself.
Some pretty impressive lightning.
I would get hurt. Plus, I'm old and slow. So there's a lot of things going against it. But
the line is starting to kind of fill in a little bit more than your last radar scan, and it kind of has a little bit of an outflow appearance along the end line of it, as you may see now.
Hello, Gavin.
Is this really on air?
This is on the internet, on the live stream. So if you say something wild to me, it'll be heard. It's bring your kids to work day. Well, it's Friday. And they're out of school, so. And eventually I'll get my children to help me with tracking the storm chasers and everything. But for this last few days, I was happy they cleaned their rooms. Isn't that correct, my child? All right, so if you're just checking in here on the live stream, first of all, the most important thing, if you're just checking in, the most important thing is we do not have any severe storms in northeast Kansas. We have a tornado watch. I got everybody excited about the party, and there are no severe storm warnings in northeast Kansas. So, yeah. The actual most exciting thing going on right now is this. There is a severe storm in Nebraska that most of you that are watching us here are not affected by. but it is producing hail 2 inches in diameter in an area where the temperature is in the low 30s. So what that would look like is hail chunks a little bigger than golf balls falling, and the temperature being cold enough that they would not necessarily melt. So you could have chunks of hail that sit around all night. Usually if you get hail that's 2 inches diameter, it's melting fast. You know, hail that comes down at 2 inch diameter, I mean, it's going to be almost always in temperatures, at least in the 60s, you know, even behind the storm. But to think about temperatures being in the 30s is pretty mind-blowing. So let's check out where the hail is on this. That's velocity. So where, and this had confirmed big hail with it. You know, I don't think the hail zone would even believe that it could produce hail with that kind of a surface temperature. But you can see there on the left side, it says hail 2 inch diameter, and it's confirmed report that there's hail 2 inches diameter falling there. Probably near the town of Friend, I guess, but heading for I-80 if it holds together. But the idea that it's got 2 inch diameter hail and a temperature in the low 30s is something that, you know, if it's happened, I don't remember it. You know, it does. I'm sure it's happened at some point, someplace. I just honestly do not remember seeing a report like that. I remember seeing a report of volleyball-sized hail near Aurora, Nebraska, 20 years ago. I remember weird things like that, but I do not remember ever seeing 30-something degrees and 2 inch diameter hail. All right, the rotation approaching Olsberg is more impressive than it was, but still not something that would make me lean forward to scare people. It's really kind of embedded in that line of rain. And the line is beginning to fill in a bit more organized. Down here, getting into the McPherson area. But again, nobody in northeast Kansas has a tornado warning or a severe storm warning at this point.
I think the real big thing that has kept or capped off these storms is just the cloud cover that we had throughout the day. We did have a little bit of clearing in the morning, probably about 8 o'clock, but then a low-level deck of clouds really started to build, and we started to see those clouds stay around all day, even into around sunset. And that really kept the energy from becoming unstable around the area.
Yeah, this stuff through here in southeast Kansas that kind of started creeping up this way, kind of late morning. That rain I have circled there sent a lot of cloud coverage over northeast Kansas through the what would have been the warmest part of the afternoon. And, you know, fortunately, that and some of the storms down to the south, and Oklahoma is sapping some of the moisture from storms getting up here. So good things, but the potential for seeing wild weather today so far hasn't happened, thankfully. All right, guys, so with that, this is not exciting. We're going to break off a live stream for now. If something exciting happens, we'll come back on. Of course, we'll see you on the night beat at 8:30. But for right now, that's rain. You know, we have a tornado watch, and certainly we can't rule out something happening at this point, but there is nothing high-end happening right now, and it's not even close to it. So we're going to end the live stream. We'll see you on the night beat at 8:30. We'll see you on 13 News at 10. If anything severe does pop up, we'll certainly break in on TV and run the live stream again. We'll see you in a little while.